Chosen one, you were pulled to this video for a reason. Not by algorithm, not by coincidence, but by a celestial assignment. Because today, everything changes. From this moment on, God takes over. No more begging for stability. No more leaning on systems that were never built to sustain someone like you. You weren't called to survive inside Babylon. You were chosen to inherit from heaven. You've been fighting battles in silence, giving your all and seeing nothing return, praying with tears that no one saw, sowing seeds in a land that gave no fruit. But listen carefully. The lack was never a punishment. It was a transition, because the supply is shifting, and your source is no longer natural. It's supernatural. This isn't motivation. It's not comfort. It's a divine decree, from the throne room straight to your spirit. Not everyone will understand it, but you will, because you've felt it. That quiet whisper in your soul that something big was coming. This is it. Obedience is about to unlock what effort never could. Heaven is moving, and you're the target. Stay. Watch till the end. Because this isn't just a message, it's a spiritual activation that will alter the course of your destiny. If your spirit is already burning with confirmation, like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and comment 99 below. Why 99? Because the shepherd left the 99 to come for the one. And today, heaven came for you. The system failed you, but not by accident. It wasn't just unfair. It wasn't just broken. It was deliberate. You thought you were being left behind, but you were being filtered. Every closed door, every silence after your effort, every no that crushed your hope, was heaven rewriting you. Because the system wasn't meant to reward someone like you. It was designed to contain you, to wear you out, to keep you occupied, but never positioned. You were trained to believe success came from climbing their ladder. But God never wanted you on that ladder, because He's building a throne, not a career, not a brand, not a comfortable lifestyle. That job that drained you, that place where your gifts were ignored, that circle that couldn't see your value, it wasn't a setback, it was a trap avoided. Because the truth is, if the system had celebrated you, you would have stayed. And you were never meant to belong there. God let you be rejected, so He could redirect you, not to make you suffer, but to protect your inheritance. You were never meant to be Pharaoh's favorite. You were meant to carry a mantle too heavy for the palace, a prophetic weight that only heaven understands. And listen closely. If they had accepted you, you would have settled for comfort. But because they couldn't handle you, you were forced into alignment. And that's when God moves. Not when you're comfortable, but when you're cornered. He waited until everything failed you, so that only He could take the credit for what's coming next. That's why the doors didn't open. That's why the room didn't call your name. Because He didn't want you sustained by Pharaoh. He wanted you aligned with purpose. You weren't denied. You were hidden, strategically, until the moment heaven was ready to reveal you. You are not behind. You are untouchable, because what God is building through you doesn't come with applause. It comes with authority. And now that you've been emptied by the system, heaven is preparing to fill you with something the world can't give. And hell can't stop. But before He can release it, there's one more thing you must understand. And it's something almost no one talks about. Stay with me. What I'm about to reveal in the next moment could be the missing key you've been waiting your whole life to hear. Listen carefully. Because what's happening in your life right now is not emotional, circumstantial, or accidental. This is not just a new chapter. It's a new government. This is not a motivational season. It's a heavenly shift of authority. The reins are changing hands, and God is not asking for permission to take over. He already has. Everything that used to sustain you is losing power. The salary that once brought peace now feels like a cage. The titles, the tasks, the to-do lists, they're empty Because heaven has intervened. You're not being pushed out. You're being called out of Egypt, out of systems built on scarcity, out of survival-based identity. God is not hiring you. He's sending you. He's not negotiating your value. He's declaring your assignment. And when heaven sends, it provides. Not by paycheck, not by effort, but by word. The rules are changing for you, chosen one. You're stepping into a dimension where natural logic can't explain your supply, where your needs don't match your income, but they still get met again and again, where closed doors open because you were told to knock, not because you had a resume. You're moving from waiting for opportunities to walking in orders, from laboring for every step to obeying and watching God multiply the path. He's replacing your hustle with holy instructions, and when you follow His voice, provision meets you before you even arrive. This shift is uncomfortable. You'll feel exposed, vulnerable, because you won't be in control anymore. But that's the point. Because what's coming doesn't require control. It requires faith. A kind of faith that says, even if I don't see it yet, I know the supply has already been commanded. God is no longer blessing your plan. He's implementing His own. And everything that doesn't align with it will fall away. People, patterns, paychecks, not as punishment, but as proof that heaven has stepped in. You're not transitioning out of a job. You're being extracted from a system that could never handle your calling. Let this pierce your spirit. You will no longer live off wages. You will live off His word. And here's the secret. When the word becomes your source, lack loses all its power. The world will wonder how you're sustaining yourself, how the doors keep opening, how peace keeps flowing, but they won't understand. Because this shift didn't happen in your bank account. It happened in your position in the Spirit. And now that heaven has taken control, there's no turning back. You're not being managed. You're being moved. But what God is moving you into is something so rare, so strategic, that the enemy's next move will make perfect sense. And you'll finally see why the warfare has been so relentless. Get ready. What's coming next will reveal who you really are and why they tried to stop you before you even started. Chosen one, you thought you were delayed. You thought you were being punished, left behind, ignored, forgotten. But what if I told you? You were never behind schedule. You were hidden on purpose, while others were being applauded in public. You were being crushed in private. And it hurt. Not just because it was quiet, but because you knew deep down you were carrying something greater. Yet no one seemed to see it. No invitations. No recognition. Just silence and survival. But listen closely. God doesn't build warriors on stages. He builds them in shadows. You weren't being delayed. You were being disguised. From distractions, from premature platforms, from attacks you weren't ready to face yet. Because if you had been revealed too soon, the weight of the warfare would have crushed you. So God hid you, even from people who could have helped, even from rooms you felt ready for, even from blessings you thought you deserved. Why? Because what you're carrying is too holy to be mishandled, too sacred to be exposed to opinions. You weren't built for applause. You were built for impact. And when heaven builds impact, it starts with isolation. Those nights when you questioned your worth. Those moments when comparison choked your joy. Those prayers you whispered with trembling hands. They weren't wasted. They were war drills. While others were building profiles, you were building capacity. While they learned how to impress, you were learning how to endure. The enemy didn't overlook you. He couldn't locate you, because heaven covered you, shielded you, protected the promise by hiding the vessel. The world said, "You're too much." God said, "You're just enough for nations." You weren't left out. You were being set apart. And that pain you felt while no one was watching? That wasn't weakness. It was sacred resistance, the kind only the chosen ones know. Because heaven won't give visibility to those who can't handle invisibility. And now the silence is breaking, not because the world finally sees you, but because heaven is about to unveil you. Everything you endured in secret is about to make public sense. And when they ask, "Where did you come from?" you'll smile and say, "From the wilderness, where I was trained, tested, tempered by fire, and trusted with revelation." The enemy tried to exhaust you, but God was preparing to exalt you. And the most shocking part? The moment of your unveiling will not come with warning. It'll come with acceleration so fast even you will ask, "Is this really happening?" But you must stay with me. Because in the next moment, I'm about to reveal why some people around you are starting to feel uncomfortable, without knowing why. What's coming will explain everything. Chosen one. You've begged long enough for attention, for validation, for permission to walk in what God already approved. But hear this, that era is over. The time of bending yourself to fit into places that were never built for you is finished. You've spent too many years knocking on doors that looked promising, but behind them was nothing but delay. You thought it was rejection, but in truth, they weren't your doors. God never designed you to be accepted by systems that fear what you carry. You weren't meant to be chosen by committees or welcomed by comfort zones, because what you carry isn't convenient, it's prophetic. And the prophetic doesn't beg. It doesn't chase approval. It doesn't need the stage. It becomes the signal. This is the moment where desperation dies, where striving is silenced, where you stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start declaring, "I am sent." You don't have to knock anymore, because now doors will open on their own, not because of your effort, but because of the weight of your assignment. God is not calling the polished, He's calling the positioned, and your positioning didn't come through performance, it came through pain, through obedience when it was hard, through worship when it made no sense, through standing in rooms where you were overlooked, yet heaven whispered, "I see you." No more lowering your voice to be accepted. No more shrinking to make others comfortable. No more waiting for them to approve what God already sealed in secret. You've outgrown the need to prove anything. This is not a moment to fight for scraps. This is the hour of supernatural inheritance. Let that word settle in your spirit. Inheritance. Not earned, not bargained for, received. And inheritance only belongs to sons and daughters, not survivors. God is not rewarding you for surviving Babylon. He's crowning you for enduring it without becoming it. This identity doesn't come from the world's labels. It comes from kingdom DNA. And your DNA doesn't negotiate with scarcity. Heaven has already called you royalty, prophetic, marked, chosen, and now it's time to walk like it, speak like it, move like it, not with arrogance, but with the unshakable clarity of someone who knows, "I carry something too sacred to remain silent." This is not a season of survival. It's a season of supernatural inheritance. And the weight of that inheritance, it's already shifting atmospheres. People around you may feel uneasy. Opportunities may seem to arrive faster than you can respond. That's not chaos. That's the kingdom announcing your arrival. But what happens next will require a kind of courage you've never had to use until now. Because in the next phase, your obedience won't just bless you, it will unlock territories. Chosen one, listen carefully, because what you're stepping into now cannot be earned. It cannot be calculated. It cannot be unlocked through strategy or strength. In this next season, hard work alone will not qualify you. Effort, while noble, will hit a ceiling. Because what you're being called into is not accessed by effort, it's accessed by alignment. You've been trained your whole life to hustle, to perform, to prove yourself worthy of increase. But the kingdom doesn't operate by the laws of labor. It moves at the speed of obedience. God is shifting your focus from performance to precision, from doing more to listening deeper. Because in this season, success won't come from how hard you push, but how quickly you respond to the whispers of the Spirit. And that's where most miss it, because obedience often looks like madness to the logical mind. It will tell you to move when nothing's ready, to speak when you feel unqualified, to step out while others are still gathering facts. But those instructions? They're not delays, they're portals. Because in the kingdom, every instruction from God is a door disguised as a command. And when you obey without hesitation, you don't just open doors, you activate dimensions, realms of favor, waves of provision, accelerations that can't be explained. While others burn out chasing visibility, you'll walk into rooms you never applied for. Because obedience already submitted your name in heaven, this is where it gets uncomfortable. You'll be asked to move without clarity, to give when it doesn't make sense, to leave what's familiar for what's unseen. And here's the truth few will admit. Obedience will cost you control, but it will grant you something infinitely greater: divine access. Because where effort reaches its limit, obedience breaks reality. God is not impressed by hustle. He's moved by alignment. He's searching for those who will say, "Not my plan, not my pace, not my pride, just your voice." Heaven is not looking for hustle. It's looking for alignment. And when your spirit aligns with His instruction, the laws of time, logic, and resistance bend around your obedience. You won't need connections. You won't need credentials. You'll just need the courage to say yes, even when you don't understand. Because what others will strive a lifetime to achieve, you will walk into by simply surrendering. But here's the turning point. Radical obedience doesn't just bring breakthrough for you. It unlocks inheritance for everyone connected to your yes. The next move you make in obedience might break chains you never even knew you carried. And in the final moments of this message, I'm going to show you why your yes, right now, is the sound hell has feared for years. Stay close. The final word is coming, and it will change everything. Chosen one. This was never just a video. This was a divine encounter. A moment heaven carved into time, just for you. Not a teaching, not a trend, a turning point. From today, your source has changed. Your strength won't come from systems. Your stability won't come from salaries. Your clarity won't come from logic. God has taken the wheel. No more begging, no more burnout. No more shrinking to survive in a world that was never designed to carry your calling. You are being positioned, not punished. You are being released, not rejected. You are being sent, not sidelined. What the world called delay, heaven calls preparation. What people mistook as failure, God calls formation. You've cried in silence. You've warred in shadows. You've obeyed when it cost everything. And now, the heavens are responding. There's a provision coming that has no explanation, no paperwork, no reference, just divine orchestration. And no system can block it. No demon can stop it. No delay can deny it. Because this time, God Himself is signing the release. Let every chain break. Let every ceiling shatter. Let every lie collapse under the weight of this truth. You are chosen, marked, commissioned, authorized by the kingdom. Walk boldly, speak prophetically, move fearlessly. You've been hidden long enough. Now it's time to inherit. Right now, go to the comments and declare with fire, God takes over. Because the moment you speak it, you seal it. You activate heaven's movement in your direction. And if this word hit your spirit, like this video, subscribe, and never again settle for survival. Because from this day forward, you don't walk in fear, you walk in favor. You don't chase approval, you carry authority. You don't just hope for breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. It's done, it's sealed, it's time. Now go and shake the earth. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling.